Well, I guess October is officially over. Or is it? Yeah, yeah, it's over. But you know what isn't over? Humanity's never ending fear of what lies beyond our understanding. That's why we're going to be taking a look at games based on Lovecraft. I want to set some ground rules before we get going here. By Lovecraft games, I don't mean Lovecraft inspired. If I squinted hard enough, I'm sure I could find Lovecraft inspiration in most horror games. Even Resident Evil games have a bit of Lovecraft inspiration in them. I'm talking about games that are hardline based on Lovecraft's characters, creatures, and places. Let's go ahead and dive in. The Necronomicon is a staple of a lot of Lovecraft's works, and it's risen to popular status. It's pretty much the go-to when it comes to evil, spooky occult books and media. So why haven't there been any games based around it? Well, there is. In 2000, the developer Wanadu Edition dropped Necronomicon: The Dawning of Darkness. No one, and I mean no one, talks about this game. Maybe that's for a good reason, but let's see why. It starts off with this moody cutscene, and the music kind of reminds me of Thief games. Before we actually go any further, we have to grab this key to open a compartment to get yet another key. See, the main character in Lovecraft stories usually spirals into madness, but our main character here seems to have some type of obsession with putting keys within keys within keys, so I'm not sure that he's all there in the head. Anyways, let's go check the knocking on the door and... Oh my god, what is that? The models in this game are sheer horror to look at. It almost reminds me of that one game. I'm not really a psychologist, but our friend Edgar seems to be suffering from some type of insanity. But thank God we have Dr. Phil to tell us that anyways. We take our scooter to the town of Pawtuxet, which is actually around the area where Lovecraft lived in real life. As much as I'm going to bash this game, it's actually very respectful to the source material. Take Pawtuxet as example. It's got that hostile and oppressive feeling akin to Innsmouth or something. By the way, if you think the models are scary, wait until you hear this audio mixing.
Know where Edgar Wycherley lives, please?
Edgar Wycherley? Who might that be?
None of the people here are very friendly, but thanks to the merchant, he'll give you a map to show you around. This completely makes the scooter worthless, as you can now fast travel to any location. It's a bit of a strange design decision, but at least we can see Edgar now, or I guess we could have if it wasn't for this butler. Believe it or not, you can actually die here if you ring the bell too many times.
Right, that's it. You're dead meat.
The butler literally beats you to death for being annoying. For some reason, you go and chat up Edgar's dad and learn pretty much nothing. At this point, I got a bit lost in my playthrough, but you actually have to go back to Crumb and ask about Gregor Herschel. Before you can do that, you have to pay him. I'm starting to see why this place is a ghost town. Of course, he doesn't actually give you any information. You have to go talk to one of the sailors. If you can actually make out anything the sailor says, you have to go check out a bunch of articles relating to Herschel now. After all that tedious nonsense, the sailor tells you to go ask another person called Mr. Blackfish. He's willing to talk to us, but only if you give him supplies. And by supplies, I mean beer.
You mean hooch?
This makes this the third time we have to check the clerk. Putting a goose chase like this at the very beginning of the game wasn't a good idea. And I'm starting to doubt Mr. Crumb's sanity because he keeps introducing himself every time I enter the store. Then again, I'm also feeling my sanity slipping. Blackfish starts filling us in on Herschel, and it's actually pretty interesting. The story of the game is generally not the problem here, and it's a shame it's backed by such poor design. Edgar's home is now open, and we can even get introduced to the mysterious Mr. Owens. I really like the soundtrack in the background. Aside from the few tracks, The OST is actually pretty solid. It's largely a bunch of atonal ambient music, but it fits the tone very well. Now you just kinda go back and forth between Witcherly and other NPCs to gossip about him. He's been looking into some pretty weird stuff that causes him to go nuts. It's pretty typical Lovecraft stuff. We even get Edgar instated after we snitch on him because that's what true friends would do. If the game hasn't lost you by now, things are about to take a turn for the worse as we enter the bungalow. The beginning isn't too bad, but once you enter the underground, it gets awful. I hope you like fumbling around in the darkness because that's the rest of Disc 1. That's all we do. What you're actually supposed to do is light torches on the wall, but sometimes it's so dark you have to kind of guess where they are. Each time you light the torches, you have to go back in the menu and pull out another one. Do you see that little book icon near the bottom right? That means it's loading, so you have to sit through a couple of agonizing seconds for every little action you do. Yeah, the wailing in the background, that's me. Eventually we stumble our way out of the darkness and into more darkness. Well, we do get light for just a few seconds until a random hole demon knocks it out of our hands. Make sure you save a lot here because you're gonna die a lot. There's a lot of holes everywhere and you have to make it to the center and back. Who designed this? Seriously. Eventually, we find ourselves in a lab where we get some glorious light. Oh, and there's also a talking brain.
Being or the reincarnation of a dead soul.
I don't know. Even the guy in the video doesn't know either. It's tedious puzzle galore here, but thank God there's a cutscene after that and
Find out.
oh. Yeah, we just kill our friend in cold blood and get away with it. I guess it's time to get to what the actual game is about, the Necronomicon. Kerschel is trying to make the game actually interesting by bringing back the old gods. We can't let this happen though, so let's take a pit stop to Stonehenge and fondle it before entering the underground city. Before we get any further, I just want to take the time to appreciate the fact that there's been no mazes in this game so far. Oh god, there's a maze. I will give them this, it's at least geometrically impossible like Lovecraft describes. The entirety of it feels just like one big blur to me. The combination of mazes, the green hue, and the music just fades into one bad memory. After the final puzzle, William somehow escapes and the game ends. That's it. That was certainly a baffling game. Usually on this channel, I don't like to go out of my way to talk about things I don't like, or even when I do, I try to find something good about it, but this is one of the worst games I've ever played. The story itself isn't too bad, outside of some questionable moments, but it's bogged down by literally everything else. That concludes my first episode into the games of Lovecraft. It started off on a really bad foot, but I know there are much better games out there. I might try to turn this into a monthly thing, but we'll see. If you guys have any Lovecraft games that follow my criteria, comment them down below. Make sure to subscribe to my second channel to see me play through all these games and fail miserably. Also, thanks to Longplay Archive for providing the gameplay footage in this video. You saved me a lot of my sanity in the process. And thank you, viewer, for watching.